Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to NoDQ&A video number 522 right here on NoDQ.com, NoDQForums.com, the YouTube channel as always, and NoDQ&A videos affiliate, RingSignNews.com. Got your questions here from spring.me/AaronRift, and make sure you also check out the text NoDQ&As on NoDQ.com. I'm still going strong with those. Go to NoDQ.com/columns for that. First one today comes from Slow Motion Man. Hey Aaron, please answer in video. Where do you see Randy Orton going from here? I would like to see a Brock Heyman versus Orton Flair feud. Orton is a guy that can drop to anybody, but still be a legit main eventer at any time, and I would like to see Flair and Heyman battle words. I definitely think you can do something with Randy Orton in regards to having Orton versus Lesnar. If Lesnar is going to be defending the title for several pay-per-views, it only makes sense to put Orton in there, especially if Batista's status in WWE is up in the air. You can go with Randy Orton. You can turn him babyface for that feud. You can even do, as you mentioned, pair Randy Orton up with Ric Flair to get Orton over as a babyface and then have the two of them cut promos back and forth. I actually really like that idea. I definitely think that we should see Randy Orton versus Brock Lesnar at some point, considering the fact that Brock Lesnar is the WWE champion, and in order to keep establishing him as the dominant heel, have him go through every single top star in the WWE roster. To me, that's the best way to book it. Have Brock Lesnar destroy everybody, including Randy Orton, until finally you have Roman Reigns or whoever in that role to finally slay the beast Brock Lesnar, and you have a brand new superstar created. This one comes from SoulFan87. Do you think John Cena winning the IC title would do anything for the title itself, or is he too big of a household name to have a run with it at this point? I think the WWE doesn't have any kind of long-term plans for the IC title. To WWE as a company, the IC title is just a mid-card prop, something for the guys on the mid-card to fight for. I don't see them really elevating the IC title, although putting it on John Cena would not be the worst idea in the world for a couple of reasons. First off, with Brock Lesnar being on a part-time contract and only appearing once in a while, by Cena winning the IC title, you have a championship that is defended in a main event position. When Brock Lesnar is not available to do the house shows, you can have John Cena defending the IC title. So I do like that idea. And also, when you look back, the US title and even the IC title, those titles meant something, and you had major stars holding those titles. And with the US title, I mean, that person would be the number one contender to the world title. So, if WWE was going to go old school, and, Triple H talks about how he's an old school guy, why not make the IC title, almost as important as the world title, where whoever's holding that belt is the number one contender for the world title? I actually like that idea a lot. And then you could always have another championship, maybe bring back the TV title. People always ask me, should WWE bring back or introduce their version of the TV title? I mean, you could have that title be the mid-card title or whatever, and then have the IC title as the semi-main event title, especially with the world title, being merged into the WWE world title. There's no World Heavyweight Championship anymore. So, yeah, I would like to see the IC title elevated. I don't think it's going to happen. There's no indication that it's going to happen, but I think that would be a good idea for business, especially with Brock Lesnar as the world champion right now, only being a part-timer. All right, this one comes from the Naked Ninja. Hi, Aaron, now that Jeff Jarrett has joined the AJ Styles faction, the Bullet Club, could this mean we'll see AJ in GFW? I keep wanting to call it GWF, the Global Wrestling Federation from the early 90s. Yeah, I'm just confused by that. But anyways, regarding AJ Styles being involved with Jeff Jarrett, absolutely. I think once Jeff Jarrett gets his new promotion off the ground, AJ Styles is going to be one of the first guys that he will bring in and push. And Jeff Jarrett and AJ Styles have a relationship now going well over a decade. So it only makes logical sense for AJ to be one of the top guys that Jeff Jarrett, builds his new promotion around. So definitely see that happening. I think that AJ Styles will most certainly be one of Jeff Jarrett's first go-to guys and one of his top picks for his new promotion. All right, this one comes from Brock the Animal. Hey Aaron, with the rumors of Batista not coming back to wrestling because of his Hollywood success and because he's a rising star in Hollywood, do you think he will go back considering he has a 2-year contract, or do you think he'll just call it a day? Well, that remains to be seen. I have the feeling that Batista will be back, and he'll at least have one more run where he'll come back and feud with Triple H or feud with Brock Lesnar. He'll do something. But yeah, with his Hollywood career starting to take off, and Guardians of the Galaxy was a huge success, a big box office draw. So they already have a sequel lined up for that. And, Batista's going to have some offers now. I mean, this is definitely a big deal for him. And going back to WWE, you could be risking a serious injury. And that's one of the main reasons why The Rock didn't appear in WWE full-time once his career got going, because there was a concern that he could get hurt and that could jeopardize his movie career. So the same thing, I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think Batista's going to be at The Rock's level of Hollywood stardom, but that's definitely something he'll need to take under consideration. And at his age, he's not going to want to do too much and risk a serious injury. So I do think he'll be back, but I don't think it's going to be anything significant where he's going to be around for a long period of time in a top position. But I do think we will see Batista at some point. All right, this one comes from T. Fern Nora A. What do you think are the worst booking decisions of 2014 so far? Well, in WWE, I mean, with TNA, I'm not even going to get started with TNA. I mean, it's just impossible to say because there's been so many bad booking decisions. But to me, in WWE, probably the worst booking decision was to have John Cena beat Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania, because as I've talked about in previous videos, WrestleMania is the show that you have the most people watching, and that's your best opportunity to elevate a new talent when you have a lot of people that aren't usually watching wrestling tuning in. You want to give them a reason to tune in after WrestleMania. And if you build up a new star, that's going to get people interested in watching the show past WrestleMania. So I think it was a huge mistake for WWE to have John Cena win, because people look back at WrestleMania, that's what they remember, and they remember John Cena beating the so-called rising star, and it's the same old thing, the same guy who's been pushed to the moon for 10 years, overcoming another young talent. So if it was me, I would have had Bray Wyatt win at WrestleMania and let John Cena get his revenge. John Cena could beat him at the next pay-per-view and get his payback and get his redemption and all that crap. But to me, that was a big mistake, and that was really the beginning of Bray Wyatt's downfall in terms of potentially being a top star in WWE. All right, this one comes from DJXHero123. Hey Aaron, with Ryback tweeting that he is taking time off to fix things because he hasn't been himself, do you think WWE is trying to repackage him to possibly make him a respectable opponent for a guy like Rusev or maybe even Lesnar? I would like to see Ryback maybe get a renewed push, especially with the reaction he got in Las Vegas. I mean, I was really surprised by that, how over he was in his hometown. And I do think that WWE dropped the ball with him to some degree, or maybe to a major degree, because he was really over in 2012, and then they booked themselves into a corner with that Hell in a Cell match against CM Punk, and he never really recovered after that. But giving him some time off and letting him come back as a monster again, they've done it with Big Show, they've done it with Kane. Why not Ryback? Why not give him a renewed push as a monster? And once again, even if it's short term, you can build up Ryback and put him in there with Lesnar, and Lesnar can beat him or whatever. But definitely Ryback versus Lesnar is another possibility, in addition to Brock Lesnar versus Batista or Brock Lesnar versus Randy Orton. You can also do Brock Lesnar versus Ryback. So I would definitely do that. All right, one more question here from Kayfabe Candy Ass. You mentioned a team of Goldust and Stardust getting stale, but I asked, when did it work? I always thought Cody in this character was awkward. Goldust fits Dustin Rhodes like a glove. However, I don't think Cody has a big enough personality to pull it off. Well, I do think that that is one of the major problems. I did think that it was interesting the first couple of weeks because it was just something different that we hadn't seen before, but it did get stale very quickly. And as you mentioned, I think it was because Cody doesn't really fit the character in the way that Goldust and Dustin Rhodes go together. So I think it's just not working for me personally, and I know for a lot of people it's not really working. But with this heel turn now, maybe there's some life left in this team, and maybe they'll be able to go somewhere else creatively now that they're heels and make this tag team work. So we'll have to wait and see how that goes. All right, that'll wrap things up for this edition of No DQ&A video. Thanks as always for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already. If you enjoyed this video, please share it on Facebook and Twitter. Check out NoDQForums.com, the place to go for wrestling discussion and general wrestling trolling as well. And with that being said, I will see you guys next time for more.